Recently, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, at a meeting with the Senate President, said Nigeria loses 30 billion naira from waivers to rice importing companies. At that meeting, the Senate leadership directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to work with the Nigeria Customs Service to recover the sum of 30 billion naira in waivers to rice importers. The Senate is not letting go of this issue as a federal lawmaker at Thursday's legislative proceedings raised a motion on the indiscriminate use and abuse of waivers for rice importation.
The Senate observed that this policy, especially relating to agriculture, has become significantly eroded and gradually made nonsense of by the indiscriminate abuse of grants of waivers, concessions and grants, especially on rice importation.
The debate on waivers for rice importation was then thrown open, with majority of lawmakers condemning what they say is the flagrant abuse of the waiver policy.
From our investigation in the anti-corruption network, we found out that there is a satanic collabo between the bureaucracy, especially the Customs and the Federal Ministry of Finance, and these importers. They grant waivers and sit down to hold clandestine meetings on sharing formulas.
That you can't owe government 20-something billion and again nothing happens. And I think the responsibility is to ensure that we see that we have a country that there are laws and people must respect those laws.
But some lawmakers called for caution.
Rice is the food that the poor man and every Nigerian, including my humble self, eat. Anything that leads to a perception that rice imports will stop, what you will get will be hoarding of the rice that are in the warehouses for distribution, and instantly the price of rice will rise.
At the end of the debate, the Senate asked the federal government to stop all waivers on rice importation and agricultural products for now. The upper chamber also set up an ad hoc committee to look into waivers, concessions and grants and recover all outstanding monies owed to the federal government. But as seen in previous assemblies, it's one thing for the Senate to make recommendations and another for the federal government to implement them. Linda Kibi, Channels Television News.